know we were earlier discussing the inverse proportion between the number of times people pray and GDP. There's a paper that has been published.
Let's pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings as your servant whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Thank you, Senator Dulo. The agenda of our meeting this afternoon is to consider the report of the Auditor General on Machakos County Executive, Receiver of Revenue, and County Revenue Fund. Could we adopt the agenda, proposer and a seconder from among the members?
Chair, I propose.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. Seconded?
Chair, second.
Thank you, Senator Lelegwe. We'll proceed directly to the next agenda, which is introduction for purposes of Hansard. Let's do it quickly. Again, starting from Deputy Whip.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Lelegwe Tumbes. Thank you, Chair. My name is Lelegwe Tumbesi, Senator for Samburu County, member of this committee.
Fatuma Dulo, Senator Isiolo, member.
Good afternoon, Governor and your delegation. My name is Jones Maruma, Senator representing Taita Taveta, Vice Chair to this committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Enokomboa, Senator Kitui, a member of this committee.
Yes, Chair. My name is Okongo Mogeni, Senator Nyamera, member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair, Governor and the team for Machakos. My name is Edwin Sifuna, Senator Nairobi. I'm a member of this committee.
And I'm Moses Otieno Kajwang, Senator from Homa Bay. Secretariat.
Good afternoon, George Otieno is my name, Committee Clerk.
Good afternoon, Crispus Tima, Committee Clerk.
Good afternoon, Beatrice Kapei, Legal Counsel.
Good afternoon, this Council Chair, Research Officer.
Lydia Kagumba, Protocol Officer.
John Chege, Sergeant at Arms.
Joseph Otieno, and Hansard.
Joy Wawa, Intern.
Chair, that's all from us.
Karibuni, OIG.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. I'm Muriki Patrick, the Liaison Officer.
Thank you, Chair. Pamela Mgalisi, Director Audit, Machakos Regional Office.
Thank you, Chair. Charles Kinuthia, Deputy Director of Audit, Kericho Regional Office, OEG.
Karibuni. Also members of this committee is the National Treasury, the Control of Budget, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Today we are doing business through subcommittees, so they'll be joining us in due course. Let's go to Machakos. I don't know whether the County Assembly of Machakos, the Public Accounts Committee, was invited to this meeting.
Yes, Chair, we invited them, but the clerk tells me he's not able to send them.
Fine, let's go to the Governor. Machakos, please go on record.
Thank you, Chair. Wavinya Ndeti, Governor Machakos County. Thank you, Chair. CC Finance, Machakos County, Catherine Motano.
Sorry, what is the name?
Catherine Motano.
Thank you, Chair. My name is CPA Jacob Mutesia Munyoke, Deputizing Deputy Director Accounting Services.
Chair, I am CPA Julius Kasanga, the Chief of Account Treasurer, Machakos County.
Chair, my name is CPA Dr. Bernard Muli, Director Accounting Services. Thank you.
Chair, Dr. Moyanda Boki, the County Secretary and Head of Public Service.
Thank you, Chair. Julia, Liaison and Executive Personal Assistant to the Governor.
Julia, you have one name like a fruit.
Julia Babashi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Justus Kasivo, CECM Health, Machakos County. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Ian Obare, Chief Officer ICT, Machakos County.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Boniface Kalinda Muli, Member, Executive Audit Committee, representing the Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Through Chair, my name is CPA Daniel Mumo, Director Internal Audit and the Secretary to the Audit Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Consolata Mutisia, CCM Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. CPA Johnston Lenye, Accountant Financial Reporting Unit.
Chair, my name is Engineer John Zioki from the Department of Public Works, Machakos County.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Juliana Wambua is my name, Chief Officer in Education.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Banis Kioko, Chief Officer, ECD Services.
Good afternoon, Chair, honorable members. My name is Juliet Ndambi, County Solicitor.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. My name is Colonel Retired Dr. Gideon Bibi. I'm the Chief Officer in charge of Public Works, Machakos County. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Mavuki, Head of Procurement, Machakos County.
Chair, honorable members, my name is Rashid Kala, Chief Officer, Medical Services.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Nzuki Charles, Office of the Governor.
Are we done with the delegation? You are all welcome to the Senate. Without wasting further time, we proceed to the next order, which is administration of oath. But I also want to acknowledge the fourth estate that is present here. Governor, you shall be guided by a clerk.
I, Wavinya Ndeti, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee in respect to the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you, Governor. You'll proceed to table your written responses.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby table the following documents before the committee. Management response and accompanying annexures on the report of the Auditor General on the County Executive of the year 2024-2025. Management responses and accompanying annexures on the report of the Auditor General on the receiver of revenue statement for the county executive of the financial year 2024-2025. Management responses and accompanying annexures on the report of Auditor General on the county revenue fund for the county executive for the year 2024-2025.
Thank you, Governor. Auditor General, are we ready to prosecute?
Yes, Chair. We received the responses on time and we had a meeting and we are ready to proceed.
Clerk of the Senate, are we on course?
Yes, Chairman, we received the documents in time and we are ready to proceed.
Before we get into the substantive issues, Governor, you wanted to make a statement?
Yes, Chair.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Chairperson and members of this committee. I wish to begin by expressing my appreciation to this esteemed committee for the opportunity to appear before you in honor of the committee's invitation as communicated through a letter dated 4th March 2026. Honorable Chairman, I appear before this committee fully aware of the constitutional mandate bestowed upon the Senate and its committee. I am equally alive to the fact that accountability in the management of public resources is not merely an institutional obligation. In the management of public resources, I'm equally alive to the fact that accountability in the management of public resources is not merely an institutional obligation, but also a personal responsibility. As stipulated under the Section 8 of the PFM Act of 2025. As a public officer entrusted with stewardship of the county resources, I take this responsibility seriously. Honorable Chairperson, the invitation extended by this committee over time have provided my administration with valuable lessons and immense experience in strengthening systems for prudent, transparent, and accountable management of public resources. I am pleased to report that these efforts are beginning to bear tangible results. In the financial year 2024-2025 audit, my administration made notably progress in improving financial management outcomes. Specifically, the county achieved 4 unqualified audit opinions, that's clean report, and 22 qualified opinions from the Auditor General. These clean audit reports are receiver of revenue, Machakos County Bursary Fund, Machakos County Climate Change Fund, Mwala Level 4 Hospital. Honorable Chairman, this milestone demonstrates the progress my administration is making towards strengthening the financial discipline, improving internal controls, and ensuring that public resources are managed in a manner that delivers value to the people of Machakos. Thank you very much, Chairman and honorable members.
Well said, Governor, honorable members. I don't know whether there is anything more to add.
No, Chair, I'm a bit baffled because, Governor, why did you feel the need to make that statement?
There's a reason.
That's what I want to understand, because I've never seen this in the time that I've been sitting here, that we have an opening statement from a governor saying that she is happy to be here. I mean, it's a constitutional mandate. Why do we? What was the reason for that statement, Governor? If you can just...
I think to contextualize it, for me, what I take from her submission is that she acknowledges that it is not just an institutional obligation, but a personal responsibility. And I think that unless you're a visitor in Jerusalem, but I think it's something that we must take positively.
Yes.
So Sifuna, drop your cynicism.
No, Chair. You should have allowed her to just clear my suspicions, because it is possible that she was not even addressing this committee.
I can clear that. Let's not put the governor on the spot on that. Let me hear if there's any supplementary comments. Maybe she was addressing the governor in Nairobi.
Chair, can I go? Thank you. I'm very sure Senator Sifuna is not a stranger in Jerusalem. He fully understands where we are. And for me, I must thank the governor for that statement that she has made. Because, Chairman, that statement settles a lot of things. And one of the things that it does, from where I sit as a leader in this country, as a journalist of long and good standing, it does one thing. It's a demonstration that governors have individually decided to do what is right, and they have defied illegal direction and an invitation by an entity called COG to break the law and the Constitution. That's what it does to me. And Chair, allow me to also have some bragging rights on this one. Gov.Wavinya Ndeti is a governor elected under the Wiper Patriotic Front ticket. Governor Julius Malombe is elected under the Wiper Patriotic Movement ticket. Those two governors have consistently appeared before this committee and any other committee of the Senate in full demonstration of the principles that their party stands for. That we are accountable and that we don't get instructions from anyone to do what is right. The third governor elected on the Wiper Patriotic Front is the only governor in this country who has received unqualified opinion from the office of the Auditor General. The chairman, that is an indication of where this country will go when Kalonzo Musyoka becomes president. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You are doing very well until you started owning the success, because even Sifuna has some bragging rights, depending on which Linda he's talking about. But we want to encourage everyone, you can linda ground, linda wananchi, lakini tulinde katiba. Yes. Tulinde katiba, tulinde ugatuzi. Honorable members, Senator Adula,
Chair,
I will come to you.
Let me first congratulate my sister, because it is a tough decision. I'm sure the war declared by COG is in public domain. You are accountable to your people. You are not accountable to collective responsibility, to disown responsibility that is given to them by Constitution. This is how women being put in leadership can stand for their right and also do the right thing. Let's not actually bring this issue to the party issue or party line, but I must say you have taken the right decision and you should not look back. And nobody should intimidate you. Stand for your right and the right of your people. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Adula. Senator Morgan.
I think, Chair, we, as a lawyer, I want to compliment the Governor from Machakos. She has demonstrated to us that the directive from COG told her don't come. But leadership said to her, show up. So you listen to leadership. And I listened to her, read a short speech. And, the directive from COG was telling you, don't show up for accountability. But you have told us today that you opted to read the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya and show up for accountability. I think that GPS led you to the right place. You have respected the summons from Senate and the medicine we prescribe, and ignored the illegal prescription from COG. I hope, Chair, that other governors will lead by this example, because you cannot, transparency cannot be through a group chat. It's you as an individual. Demonstrating to the people of Machakos that you have no fear to appear before us and explain how you spent money that was sent to Machakos. So that's commendable, Governor. I don't know whether it's because you are a lady governor, but no, don't corrupt my thoughts. Yeah, so it's a good thing, really. Chair, she cited the Constitution, and the Constitution demands that there should be accountability. Kudos.
Chair, can I also
Senator Maruma?
Yeah, let me also join my colleagues in lauding the governor for appearing. She has always appeared when she's required to appear. She's a stickler to the law. That is something we must laud. But secondly, Chair, I discovered during the introductions that also you appreciate the space and the place of education and professionals in governance. When I was listening to the introductions, I could hear Dr. So-and-so, Engineer so-and-so, Dr. And I said, are these members of our faculty of our university? So I think, Governor, I'd like to congratulate you for that. That people go to school so that they can have space to serve their people. There are counties who have CECs and CCOs whose certificates you can locate to River Road. So I think, Governor, I must laud you for accepting that there is a place of education, and I want to believe that you also support the education. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Senator.
Chair, you know what my colleagues have said is what I expected to hear from the governor. It's not that I'm a stranger anyway. But I just want to add one thing, that delinquency or bad manners does not know gender or parties. As SG of ODM, I'm embarrassed deeply that the chair of the COG who originated this illegal edict is a member of ODM. There was another lady governor who sat where you are there. She's one of the proponents of non-appearance of governors, the governor of Embu. And she's the one who came here and told us she took money from Kipes to go and throw a bash for border people. How is that a problem that we brought on her? She brought it on herself. So it has nothing to do with gender, it has nothing to do with political parties. But if Senator Wambua was here, I would tell him, those of us who identify ourselves as the true ODM people, who swore to defend devolution, those governors are attending Senate sessions. As I've said, Chair, yesterday, our comrade in arms, the governor for Siaya, was before the Public Investments Committee of this House. So this delinquency, you have to look it. Don't throw us together. Hapana leta mchanganyiko is what I'm trying to say. It is individual responsibility, people who have chosen to break the law. But as maybe we'll get into it later, there is a remedy that the Senate is going to be proposing next week to deal with these errant governors who think that they can just play around with public money and refuse accountability. So it's good that you're here, Governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. And Senator Lelegwe, I think the opening remarks by the governor would serve very well in your county, because I know your governor has put us in a situation where we are asking the Inspector General of Police to arrest him. And I think what the governor of Machakos says is valid, and the people of Samburu should also understand that accountability is not just institutional, it is personal. So, Governor, we are not going to thank you for coming, because it is your duty, as you have said. It is a responsibility, it is an obligation. But we commend you for reaffirming that appearing before this Senate has been useful to you in the past. I think you said that in your statement. And I believe that other governors who might be listening in or who will be following would find it fit for them to do what the Constitution requires them to do. Hapa tunalinda katiba. Hapa tunalinda ugatuzi. We don't care which political divide you come from, which orientation, which gender, which region, but the Senate exists kulinda ugatuzi na kulinda katiba. Having said that, we have already gone through this report, and the Auditor General has given us an overview of the issues that have been resolved and the issues that remain outstanding. I know that the clerk had put in an informal request if you could have come in earlier, but you indicated that you had other appointments. If you would have come in earlier, we would have had more time to discuss many aspects of this report. But you have appeared before us under oath. You have tabled your written responses. We will take your written responses and use them to process our recommendations, after which, in a period of 60 to 90 days, we shall reinvite you to explain how you have implemented our recommendations. Unless there is a matter that you feel your written responses do not address sufficiently that requires your explanation, I will give you that opportunity. But since you have submitted your written responses under oath, even in courts nowadays, courts are able to make decisions on the basis of the filings that have been done by parties. So unless there's a very specific matter. However, there was one matter that we have discussed with the Auditor General that we must bring to your attention. It did not appear in the substantive audit report, and we have agreed with the auditor on how it will be treated going forward. That is the issue of pending bills, or what nowadays we call trade payables. If you notice in your financial statements, you close the year with total trade and other payables of 4.8 billion Kenya shillings. As I've said, it was not highlighted in the Auditor General's report, but those of us who have sat here for quite some time, we know that we have a problem of pending bills in Machakos County due to historical reasons. I do recall at one of our meetings, Governor, since you have been appearing before this committee consistently, I do recall in one of our meetings you even proposed that we could call in the administration of the past to deal with some of the outstanding pending bills. We are concerned that the balance on trade payables is growing. The prior year, you opened the year at 3.3 billion.
Which page are you looking at?
It's on the financial statement, note 32 on trade and other payables. Yeah, on the financial statement. It's not, the auditor had treated it as a prior year matter. Or auditor, can you explain how you had treated this so that it's your words that go on record?
Yes, Chair, that is the case. We are following up on the trade payables.
But we have directed that it cannot be looked at as a prior year matter.
Yes.
Because in prior year the figures were different.
Yes.
This year the figure is growing. This year there was no aging analysis. Or is there an aging analysis in that report? There is no aging analysis. Ideally the auditor would have flagged that to say that the debt of 4.8 is not aged. So we don't know what is current, what is a year, what is over 3 years. And Governor, just hold your horses first. We have discussed it with a better analysis on it. But since we can see it, because, Governor, I'm sure you're going to explain that subsequently you paid. But unfortunately, the only evidence we have is a financial statement that we have here. I wanted to give certain guidelines. And these guidelines is a standard recommendation that we are giving to all counties. Number one, if billion includes staff payables, accountants in the room, how much of this 4.8 is staff payables?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Out of the 4.8 billion, 804 was staff payable, that is salary arrears for June 2025, and 204 million which relates to statutory deduction which we had paid net for April and May. Those amounts of 804 were eventually paid in this year. So the balance remains.
Just leave it there. So that is in line with our recommendation, because we are going to recommend that staff payables must be settled within 90 days. You are saying you have already settled?
Yes, Chair, we have already settled that.
Second, statutory deductions must be settled within 90 days. And you are saying you have already paid 204 million as statutory deductions?
Yes, Chair, we have already paid.
Now, does this total figure, are there pension obligations arising? Very unique,
yes,
especially for a big county like Machakos.
Our last payment was last month.
Now let's distinguish between the current and the historical. LAP fund or LAP trust or CPF, anything?
Let me respond. What Chair, I've clarified that 804 was for financial 24-25, which fall in year 25-26, and which we settled. But if you go to our pending bills, there is an amount of 325 million, which relates now to that period of devolution.
Correct. But now that's where I'm going to. Our recommendation on those acquisition to the control of budget has released the money, so you have the money. There is no reason why you should keep the money beyond 90 days. But then the historical ones arising from defunct municipalities, we understand the complication, the actuarial valuation, the interest and penalties. Our recommendation is that within 90 days, you need to come up with a payment of budget, the Auditor General and the Senate within 90 days.
Chair, we have to have a payment plan.
A payment plan.
Payment plan. And then I can assure you, Chair, we are up to date.
Fine. Let's go to the fourth arm of it. Now you have debt owed to service providers, contractors, etc. Unfortunately, your financial statements does not disclose the age of your debt. You have not done an aging analysis, which the Auditor General should have queried. But our recommendation is this: any debt that is older than 365 days should be settled. Why shouldn't you pay debt older than 365 days?
Chair, we had not been asked for that, but we have a soft copy on the aging analysis. We have that, the aging analysis. And if you'll allow me, Chair, to say, of course, when I took office, I found a bill of 3,812,556,795. We've verified 2,126,781,000. And from those bills, I've been able to pay 642 million, remaining with 1.4 billion. We have verified legal fees of 921, which the files, 921 million, which the files have been taken by the ESCC. That is for the previous regime. We also have verified of 757 million, which do not have documents. So anything without documentation from the previous regime is very hard for us to pay. If I come to my term as the governor of Machakos, as we speak now, my pending bill is 1.9 billion. I have already processed 275 million in IB. That is already in IB. And for the supplementary budget, we have put 200 million. That brings my pending bill in my time to 1.4 billion. In this coming budget, I have put 847 million for pending bills, which in the previous regime bill, I've put 100 million to bring the bill down. In this regime, because these people have completed their work, I have put 747. Now, that brings my pending bill to, once I pay that, during my regime, I'll have a pending bill of only 740 million. And the one for the previous regime, I would have brought it down to 1.2 billion. So I've been working on it. It's not that I've ignored. There are people who did work in the previous regime and they finished. So I have to work on a way of paying them, balancing that with the work that I am doing
But
now.
Governor, the previous regime debt would therefore be 1,000 days. Because that's 3 years. Why should debt remain outstanding for 1,000 days? Good financial management should not exceed 365 days.
Chair, if I was to pay all the pending bills I found, I would not have had money for 1 year.
Okay.
Do development for the people of Machakos.
Governor, the bills that you are referring to as your own pending bills, after you pay what you budgeted for, would remain 700 million.
700 million.
What are you planning, when are you planning to pay the 700 million? Because again, that work has been done.
Yes.
The goods and services have been provided.
Yes.
What are your plans?
What I have done, even in the previous one, we are doing fast charge. Any work that is finished, before a department can even procure anything, we have to pay the pending bills, which you have taken it as fast charge.
So we were giving you recommendations.
Yeah.
We were going to recommend that any debt greater than 365 days should be paid. But from your explanation, you're saying we better go with a payment plan.
Yes, Chair, because if I don't do that, I would not be left with any money to run, to even pay salaries and all that, because when you look at the bill for the previous regime is over 3.8 billion. That is my development
We are open and ready and willing to have that conversation so that we can secure a future for our employees. This one is not just another accounting entry. This is about the people who have worked for our county governments. They need to retire. Some you need to downsize. You need to reduce the numbers, but you have nothing to pay them once they leave the organization. Now, members, is there any other matter here that, because all the other substantive issues you have responded in writing, and I hope you have done a good job so that when we are making our recommendations, we are making recommendations on the basis of the evidence that you have submitted. So that was for the county executive report. I think we shall adopt your written responses. We'll very, very quickly, under the receiver of revenue report, which talks about the revenue you are raising. Governor, we have seen your revenue has grown. On source revenue, you reported it as 2.1 billion. Was it 2.1 billion? Who is the receiver of revenue?
Yes.
Is the receiver of revenue in the room?
The receiver of revenue is here. The chief officer is here.
So 2.1 billion.
Yes.
That grew from 1.6 billion.
Yes, Chair.
That's a growth of 500.
500 million.
Yes.
Over 500 million. But all that growth comes from hospital fees, because hospital fees grew at 552 million. Machakos is not just any other county. Machakos is a bedroom of Nairobi. Machakos is a rich county. Many of us here live in Machakos or do business in Machakos. I'm a bit surprised that Machakos, even if the growth came from hospital fees, could there be a problem here, Governor? If you compare even what you're collecting in hospital fees, even if you are to compare with a county like mine, Homa Bay, you know that Homa Bay has grown largely because of hospital fees, but we seem to be collecting more. And yet, we know that perhaps people in the formal sector, people, even the middle class lives in Machakos. Are these numbers, for example, for the 2.1 billion, what was the budget, what was the target for the financial year?
The target was 3.1. Sorry, the target was 3.9 billion.
3.9 billion, which sounds quite.
Okay.
Machakos, Kiambu, which is another bedroom of Nairobi, is at 5 billion. 5 billion plus. Yeah. So 3.9 sounds like it, but you're only doing 2.1. What are the systemic challenges to achieving the 3.9?
Chair, it's also very important for you to have the historical where we started from. With the hospitals, the first year we collected about 30 million.
30 million?
30 million.
Why, you are offering treatment for free?
We computerized, and when we computerized, we went to over 230 million. The second year, we went to over 700. And again, our hospital revenue goes up because you have people coming from the surrounding counties also, apart from Machakos County. We have people coming from Makwiny, we have from Kajiado, from Nairobi. When there are strikes in Nairobi, people move to Machakos. That is how our revenue has also gone up, and also the good services that we provide. And also the system, and also we have computerized our revenue collection.
Governor, allow me, Chair. Governor, again, yes, there is an influx of patients from surrounding counties into Machakos hospitals. I know actually from my county you receive a lot of patients. For revenue, maybe that's a plus for the county, but in terms of depleting medical supplies, then it's a minus for your account. Now, I wish we would just stick to the question that the chair is asking, that there is a target of 3.9 billion that we set to achieve for on-source revenue, but you have only managed 2.1 billion. What is the challenge? Is it that you had estimated your capacity to collect, or what really could resulted to that drop from 3.9, which is the target, to 2.1? There's a difference of what? 1.8 billion.
I have my CEO for revenue. We can answer that.
As you answer, maybe tell us what you collected in the previous year as compared to 2.1 billion in this year under consideration. Okay. And then when you are projecting, you don't project on nothing. What did you think you had done differently to allow you to move to 3.9 billion? What are the challenges?
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I'm CP Otieno, Chief Officer Revenue. Chair, allow me just to take you back on the previous analysis. Since the evolution, the highest on the 10 years of the first governor, the highest revenue that was collected was 1.4 billion. Now, since the administration for Governor came in, the first year it was 1.4, the second year it was 1.5, then the third year, which is last year, it was 2.1. Chair, we appreciate that we have a potential based on, and just to add, Chair, as at 11th, the county has collected 1.9 billion as at 11th of this month. The remaining month in the history of the counties are the wet months. So based on the what we have put in place, we anticipate to get additional of 1.5 billion, running to 1.5 billion for the remaining 4 months, that is this month inclusive. So we anticipate to close at slightly more than 3.1 billion.
You've gone further than where we wanted to go.
Yes.
You see, as a Senate, we like to take a policy perspective to issues. So when I look at your receipt of revenue statement, there's a statement of comparison of budget versus actual amounts for the year that then illustrates what you're trying to find out. So for example, under cess, you had a target of 831 million, but you only collected 221 million. That was 27% of your target. What was the basis for projecting 831 million as money you're going to collect on cess? Because it's not abracadabra. I'm sure there has to be a method. There has to be a thought process that this year we can collect 831 million in cess. Just take us, what was the thought process? Because you have taken this to the public participation. You have told them we are collecting 831 million in cess. Then you collect 221. Does it mean you collected and pocketed? Or does it mean that there was something, some natural disaster that prevented you from that collection?
Thank you, Chair. Some is caused by some natural attrition that is beyond us. And when we just pick on cess, Chair, sometimes when we have a lot of rains, like what we experienced in the past few weeks, and we experienced it during this year, some of our roads are impassable. We rely on...
Don't be speculative, because that's a period that has passed. So just tell us, this happened, this happened, this happened, and then you'll make our life easy.
Let me try to help. You know, I'm a neighbor in Machakos. You know, the question, Governor, is a very simple question. The projection was 3.9 billion. That's what you wanted to collect. Remember, we are not dealing with 25, 26. we're dealing with 24, 25. We're dealing with the past, not the future or the present. We're dealing with the past. So you had projected 3.9 billion. You collected 2.1 billion. The question that the chair is asking, the committee is asking, what challenges did you encounter that you did not realize your projection, or did you over project? That's a question that is being asked here.
Thank you, Chair. The closure of Ngelani quarries due to non-compliance with the mining regulations significantly affected the county revenue performance during the financial year 2023-2024, in financial year 2024-2025, and the year 2024-2025. Ngelani quarry, located in Machakos County, is one of the county's primary quarry sites and contributes substantially to overall generation of revenue. Consequently, the suspension of operations resulted to reduced output levels and negatively affecting the revenue generation during the affected financial periods.
What was the target for quarrying in your budget?
831.
831 was overall CES, because CES has got four components. It has four components. There's farm produce, there's quarrying, there's livestock, and there's sand gravel.
352 million.
It was 352. That was a target.
Yeah.
And then you actualize 118. Is that the case?
Yes.
You actualize 118.
Yes.
So that still does not really account for that gap of 610 million. You see, Governor, by the way, it's not a trick question. We are just trying to bring out the things that your officers must explain to you and to the people. When we dealt with Kitui, the governor sitting there realized that there's a problem. When we went to the sand cess in Kitui and saw what was being reported, and divided by the amount charged per truck, it looked like only 5 trucks were being charged in a day. And the governor undertook to go back and do something about it. So this is a conversation that is supposed to open our eyes. It's not supposed to put anyone in problems. That if your officers tell you that it was because of closure of that quarry, that only accounts for 200 million. There's another 400 million that was budgeted and not realized. Was it collected and pocketed, or there was another factor that led to that drop?
Chair, thank you. Chair, we are cognizant that there are measures that were not put in place, for instance, remapping of our revenue centers. CES does not only come from quarries, but we also have revenue spots as revenue centers along the highways. That is the barriers. So we've so far make sure that we've done the remapping and we've closed on all the panya routes that are around Machakos. And that's why we are anticipating now this year to get it further. So this could have contributed to the realization of the money from CES.
Another one which maybe some of us here in the room pay is land rates. Is Syokimau in Nairobi or in?
It's in Machakos, Chair.
Is Katani in Nairobi?
It's in Machakos, Chair.
Lolongo?
Machakos.
So you might find that half of the people in this room are paying land rates to you faithfully.
No, they don't. And they don't. Maybe I need to check everybody.
Okay. Now on land rates, you had a target of on land rates. You previously collected 304 million. You previously collected 304 million, and then in this year, you collected only 181 million. So it dropped by 68%, 123 million. Now you see land rates now, you can't say that climate change, the land disappeared. the land is still there. So how do you explain a 68% drop in land rates? And I think, again, as I said, I'm raising this so that we can get an explanation, not just for the Senate, but for the people who pay land rates in Machakos.
Chair, allow me to intervene and respond, because when we are preparing this response, I get factual information from the technical officers and CEO revenue. And they are the people on the ground, so they can at least give me facts on the reasons why we end those challenges. It is true that in financial year 24-25, rand rates, we collected 181,168,967. And this year, 80 months, we have collected 247,532,429. So you can see there is that spontaneous increment.
Where you think that we need to emphasize? Or we can just proceed with the written responses?
I think we can proceed with the written responses.
Fine. Auditor General, is there any comment with regards to set expectations from Machakos? Are they cooperating? Are they responding? And having looked at their mixtures, maybe globally, how many issues in your consideration can be considered closed?
Chair, 4.
Only 4 out of?
Yes, out of 17.
Out of 17.
Then we had those that were partly addressed, 9.
So 4 are resolved, 9 are partly addressed. So that leaves us with 4 that are completely outstanding.
Yes.
Okay, so we shall follow up within 60 days to ensure that those matters are closed to the satisfaction of the Auditor General and to the satisfaction of the Senate. Unless there is any other matter from the senators or from the Governor, I think, Governor, we commend you for taking time as required of you by the Constitution to come before the Senate. I hope that the 2 issues that we have discussed globally will trigger some attention on those 2 areas, pending bills and on source revenue, because you said your solution to pending bills is to improve on source revenue. And yet we are seeing that there are still some challenges in terms of on source revenue. So please, as you go back, you can prioritize that. I believe the members of the audit committee were also here. You said you are holding fort, or you are the chair of the audit committee.
Chairman, the chair was not able to attend the meeting.
Yes.
So I'm a member of the audit committee.
You have approved the charter, the internal audit charter?
Yes, we have approved that.
In your view, is internal audit and audit arrangements effective and functional in Machakos?
It is effective and functional, and we are proposing a few adjustments to the management to make it more empowered.
Maybe you should have said to make it effective.
Yeah, to make it more effective, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. At least as far as that control is concerned, now we have an audit committee in place. We hope that you're going to add value to the governance of Machakos County.
Maybe auditor, whom do you report to? Whom do you report to?
Thank you, Chair. I report to the audit committee.
Okay. I thought you were a member of the audit committee.
Of course, I'm the secretary, and I report to the audit committee. Functionally.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so OAG, you I think look at the effectiveness. It's one thing to gazette an audit committee, to have a charter, to have an internal auditor, but it's another thing to be effective.
But we'll do that, but please allow me to say that the officer there representing the chairman of the audit committee has a long outstanding experience in the office of the Auditor General. and I've had a discussion with him even before this meeting, and he's well versed in the matters required in this profession. So we have a lot of trust in them, and I believe they're going to do the right thing.
Maybe, Chair, to the Governor, do you consume the report also from the committee? Do you engage with them?
Yes, through the Chair, I consume the reports and I try to make them whatever necessary changes need to be made through the departments.
Okay, fine. I think we shall leave it at that, and unless there's any other observation, we shall leave it at that and commend the Governor for taking time to have this conversation with the Senate, which is, as you said, you acknowledge is a constitutional obligation, an institutional obligation, and an individual obligation. And I hope that from the mood of this conversation, other governors will have the will have the confidence to appear before this committee, because we do not engage in witch hunt, we do not engage in malice, we do not engage in blackmail. We deal with things as they are and as they are presented by the Auditor General, and our greatest concern is for devolution to work. As we said at the beginning, kazi yetu ni kulinda katiba, kazi yetu ni kulinda ugatuzi. That's why the Senate exists. So with that, the meeting is adjourned. The Senate meets again on Monday at 9:30 a.m. We wish you a safe journey back to Machakos.